Whoa, a political earthquake just tore through the American heartland. And believe me, the shockwaves are being felt everywhere.
You see, in Iowa, the Republican Party had what looked like a totally unbreakable grip on power. We're talking a legislative fortress, a complete and total lock on the state Senate. And then, in just one special election, in a district that was supposed to be deep red, that whole fortress just came crumbling down. Okay, but before we get into exactly how this political takedown happened, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You are not going to want to miss another breakdown like this one. So, to really get the scale of this upset, you gotta understand the political scene in Iowa. In the state Senate, Republicans didn't just have a majority, they had a supermajority. And a supermajority, that isn't just about winning, it is about total control. I mean, holding 34 of the 50 seats meant Republicans could pass pretty much any law they wanted without needing a single vote from a Democrat. That's a huge deal. Now, this whole thing started because a seat opened up after a Republican senator passed away. The battle to fill it came down to two candidates with, let's just say, wildly different ideas for the state. So, in one corner, you had the Democrat, Catelin Drey. She was running on a platform of protecting reproductive rights and boosting education funding. And in the other corner, Republican Christopher Prosch. He called himself a strong, pro-life conservative and also made claims that the 2020 election was stolen and that climate change is a lie. A pretty stark contrast, right? And that contrast got even sharper. Prosch really made headlines for this comment on a podcast where he directly compared abortion rights policies to the Holocaust. So the stage was set in this deep red district. Everyone's watching, the results started coming in, and it was a total shocker. The Democrat Catelin Drey didn't just squeak by with a win, she crushed it. She took 55% of the vote to Prosch's 44%. I mean, that is an absolute landslide in a race that so many people thought was an easy win for the Republicans. And to really put that victory into perspective for you, Donald Trump won this exact same district by over 11 points. So this wasn't just a win, it was a massive political swing. As you can probably guess, the reactions from both sides were, well, they were immediate and they were fiery. The Democrats, led by DNC Chair Ken Martin, they went right on the offensive. He declared that voters are just tired of the GOP agenda and are, quote, ready for change. But the Iowa GOP chair, Jeff Kaufman, he fired right back. He didn't frame the loss as a rejection of their candidate. Instead, he blamed it on what he called a flood of national money and a huge volunteer effort from, in his words, desperate national Democrats. The Democrats, though, they just doubled down. Campaign leader Heather Williams called the win a flashing warning to the GOP, saying that voters are rejecting what she called the failing MAGA agenda on a national level. So you might be thinking, okay, but it's just one state Senate seat in Iowa. Why does this matter so much? Well, let me tell you, the ripple effects from this are huge. So here's the impact, right here in a nutshell. First and most importantly, that GOP supermajority, it's broken, gone. They can't just pass laws on their own anymore. They're going to need at least some Democratic support. And second, this whole thing proves that even what people thought were diehard Republican seats can be flipped. That gives Democrats a potential playbook for future elections all over the country. Which, leaves us with the million-dollar question. Was this just a fluke, a perfect storm with a controversial candidate and a bunch of outside money? Or is this a tremor that's signaling a much bigger political shift happening right under our feet? So what's your take? A one-off upset or a real sign of things to come? Drop your theory in the comments below. We read all of them. And hey, if you learned something today, do us a favor and smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next explainer. Thanks for watching.